In recent years, one of the biggest issues Halo has had is the somewhat higher barrier of entry the multiplayer has compared to a lot of its peers in the first-person shooter genre. This was even worse in Halo 5, where besides Warzone, which had a ton of its own issues that honestly I can make an entire video about, Big Team Battle was basically given the short end of the stick. It didn't even exist at launch, and then when it was eventually added, it was added as a ranked only playlist, and even after getting a social playlist later on, it was never given a proper developer created map throughout all of Halo 5's lifespan. This was a huge bummer to the BTB side of the game, as I felt it was always neutered by the lack of support that it had from 343. While things like the arena are going to be huge for helping new players learn how to play the game and get into the game a lot easier, Big Team Battle is going to be vital at bringing in players from the mainstream, as it will appeal to a much larger and much more widespread audience than the core arena modes that are going to be inherently more competitive. This is just due to the fact that, in my opinion, Big Team Battle is Halo's best mode to just chill with your friends and shoot the shit, or hop into by yourself when you don't want to have to yell callouts or hyper focus just to win some games. It still retains some of the competitive nature of your arena style gameplay, since obviously you're playing to win, while also having the aspects of a more social and casual experience through the inclusion of more players on the map, vehicles, etc. And this is unlike the purely casual modes like custom games or Infection, don't sue me, hardcore Infection players, which are mostly there to kind of like mess around in and are more party-ish modes in my opinion. Having social and arena this time around at launch will obviously help on the arena front, but even the non-ranked arena modes can be rough for newcomers or players trying to play more casually if you get into the wrong lobbies. So that's why I think that Big Team Battle is going to be perfect for not just BTB fans of the past, but also new players getting into Halo and new possible fans of Halo. For the most part, Big Team Battle over the years has been a more laid-back playlist. It's usually the playlist that you can just hop in and play. You as a single player are going to have less impact on the game, obviously, since there's more players in the lobby, so you can kind of just do your own thing and, you know, obviously try to win. But if you're having a bad game or your one teammate's having a bad game, it's not going to completely ruin the lobby like it might in a 4v4 game, where if you have a teammate that's completely feeding or you're completely feeding or something like that, it really can just ruin the experience. So far, not only does Big Team Battle look like a blast, it also looks like it's going to be full of both vehicles and power weapons, which are fantastic for basically just having fun. This is where we'll kind of get to experience Halo Infinite's full sandbox, where you're going to see all the new vehicles, all the new cool weapons, and everything kind of just thrown into one place, where arena, especially the competitive arena playlist, because we don't necessarily know what all the arena style playlists are going to be, is going to be a bit more competitive focused. You're probably not going to have as many power weapons or even see some of the power weapons that you're going to see in Big Team Battle in the arena modes. While Big Team Battle definitely still does have the aspects of what makes core arena good in terms of keeping equal starts and a heavy emphasis on map and weapon control, it also just adds a ton of things that can make the mode easier to get into and have a good time. While yes, you can definitely time every vehicle or every power weapon in Big Team Battle, in most cases, unless you're going against full stacked squads, most likely a single player isn't going to have everything on the map timed, so you can kind of just run around, have a general idea of when things are going to spawn, and attempt to control the strong points of the map or capture objectives depending on the game mode using whatever tools you have at your disposal, whether it's a power weapon that you found or some type of vehicle that you found. I mentioned this a bit earlier, but ever since Halo Reach, it seems that having vehicles on smaller maps, which incidentally was when Sprint was introduced, has mostly gone away, and vehicles have been segregated to the larger maps and larger game modes. While I definitely miss some of the aspects of Halo 3 where you could drive a Warthog or a Ghost in a 4v4 game, the distinction down the line makes it even more appealing for Big Team Battle to the mainstream audience, as they just add variety and fun to the Halo gameplay that we all know and love. Now, don't take this video the wrong way. I'm not saying that competitive or arena style Halo will be niche or dead in Infinite. That is not the case at all. What I am saying is that with proper support and focus behind Big Team Battle this time around, 343 is going to be able to attract a larger variety of players, not just players looking for hyper competitive gameplay. Big Team Battle, vehicles, and large maps have been a part of Halo's identity since its core, even back to Halo CE, when actually getting 16 players in a lobby was a job itself. Maps and game mode combinations like Blood Gulch CTF are often looked back upon extremely fondly. Halo Custom Edition on PC took this to the next level, having larger lobbies on even bigger maps that were made specifically for the game, and even had maps created by the community that were even larger and even crazier. Halo 2 had classic BTB maps like Zanzibar and Terminal and many others. Halo 3 had tons of amazing BTB maps like Valhalla and Sandtrap, and then Reach, while lacking core BTB maps in my opinion, at least at launch, did a great job with large-scale battle in the form of Invasion, and obviously those Invasion maps were also still playable in Big Team Battle. all the way up to Halo 4, which while is definitely a controversial game, it is pretty much universally agreed upon that Big Team Battle was one of the best parts of that game, at least in terms of multiplayer. Halo 5 is kind of where Big Team Battle lost its way, as 343 tried to push players into two forms of gameplay: competitive arena style gameplay and the much more casual Warzone. The problem is that Warzone didn't necessarily do what BTB did best. Not all players want to have to buy rec packs and have their fun locked behind single-use cards that have to either be bought or grinded out. Big Team Battle is perfect because those quote-unquote cards per se are just on the map. You can go and find a tank, fly a Banshee, drive a Warthog, all without having to pay a dime or grind out unlocks. It's a lot more appetizing, in my opinion, to run around the map and find a vehicle than it is to open up the Halo 5 console thing, call in some type of tank that you got out of a rep pack, and know that you can never call that tank in again without buying more rec packs. Sure, Halo 5 could do this later on once Big Team Battle was obviously added in, but it was always held back by the fact that the mode never had proper maps. I love Halo 5's Forge, and some of the maps that have come out of it are absolutely amazing, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make up for the lack of developer-made maps and just the lack of support that Big Team Battle had in Halo 5. This variety in gameplay styles allows Halo as a game to foster to all sorts of players, and it's exactly what could make Halo Infinite extremely successful again, both amongst mainstream and hardcore fans, if 343 is able to hit the balance just right. Big Team Battle in Halo Infinite so far looks really fun from what we've seen. In my opinion, if 343 is able to hit Big Team Battle out of the park in a way similar to how Big Team Battle is thought of in games of the past, I think we are in for a fantastically varied and healthy Halo scene. Another reason that I think this is so important is free to play. Halo Infinite is going to have a ton of players checking it out, and a lot of these players are going to be free to play players with not necessarily as much attachment or investment in the Halo franchise. Having a game mode or a playlist like Big Team Battle that's easier to get into and still have fun is going to be vital for keeping these players around and not just having them bounce off the game instantly after they get smashed in a team arena game. Allowing groups of people who have never played Halo before to hop into Halo Infinite with their friends, maybe they're playing with 4 or 5 buddies, and they can hop into a Warthog together, try and capture a flag, maybe just drive around the map and get kills, is going to make some absolutely amazing memories and experiences that hopefully keeps these players attached to Halo and makes them actually want to stick around. I'm sure tons of free-to-play players will also check out competitive Halo, but this ability to both cater toward more casual and more competitive players at the same time in the same game is what will kind of make Halo stand out a bit from some of its competitors. A lot of games do one style of gameplay pretty well, but Halo and Halo Infinite have the opportunity to honestly do both really well if they're able to hit it out of the park. We've seen good arena style Halo gameplay in the past, and we've seen good Big Team Battle gameplay in the past. It is now up to 343 in Halo Infinite to get those both right in the same game to fully maximize this change to free to play and really take Halo back to the level that it deserves as a once major franchise. Anyways guys, that's pretty much going to do it for the video. Let me know in the comments if you think BTB is going to be important for Halo Infinite's success, or if you think it'll just be another game mode that people play. As always, if you want to catch me live, follow me over on Twitch. I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You can also follow me over on Twitter or Instagram where I post things. And with that said, I'll see you all next time.